Hey everybody, it is Professor Parish, and welcome to week 4 of English 109. So this week we are going to have a new type of assignment, which I'm going to go over very shortly. I'm also going to review the other assignments that we have that are due this week. I'm recording this video a little bit earlier than usual, so you'll notice that week 3 assignments are still posted. So make sure that you get those in on time by Sunday night. But let's switch over to Student View, and I'm going to show you all week 4, what we have to look forward to. So we've got a couple new things going on this week. I do want to do one housekeeping thing before I start, and that is with our grammar review and chapters. It was brought to my attention that some of you may have the 9th edition of English Skills instead of the 10th edition. That's fine. You'll just have to adjust the chapters for your textbook versus the one that's the 10th edition. So for example, in the grammar review, I know that assignment said pages 419 and 420 for the 10th edition. If you have the 9th edition, then you're going to look at page 407 to 4 and 409. It's the same amount of assignments, same amount of questions. Your answers may vary, but the assignment is still exactly the same and worth the same amount of points. And if you have questions, just please feel free to email me and let me know. But in the meantime, let's go and look here at week 4. So we have our second textbook activity, which I'm going to pull up here, as well as our discussion forum. So our second textbook activity is going to be on pages 42 to 44. It's activity 15, and I'm going to show you what that looks like here. So basically the idea behind the assignment is that you are reading, there's 2 paragraphs, 2 passages you're going to read. After you read each passage, I would like you to point out what the main idea of that passage is, what the 2 points are, and 2 details that support each point. So you can see right here, you're going to have your main idea, or your topic sentence. What is the main idea of why I'm a stay-at-home baseball fan, which you will find out when you read the passage. What the topic sentence is, and then what are my 2 points, point A and point B. What are the 2 main points that support my main idea? And then, with each point, what are 2 details that support those points? So it's kind of like a little nesting doll. You keep getting like layers upon layers the deeper that you go. So this will connect back to what we're, another assignment we're going to do this week. So everything's going to nicely connect this week in terms of the assignments that we're doing. But you have 2 passages. This is the first one, so there's 3 points, and each point has 2 details with it, and your topic sentence. And then you have a slow down to slim down, and there's 3 points and 2 details for each point. So it's a pretty straightforward, a very basic assignment. Like I said, on pages 42 to 44, it gives some backstory about what you're doing, and the assignment's pretty straightforward from there. I just want to see that you are able to identify the main idea of each passage and also describe what the points are and be able to identify those. Alright, so that's the textbook assignment. Our discussion forum for week 4, there is a video to watch. I like having our videos in our discussion forums, break it up a little bit. Lindsay Ellis is the author of this week's video. I really like her. She is a film studies scholar. She majored in film and theater. And so she does a lot with literature because of that. And so this video is actually delving into, she did a series for PBS on why we read the certain stories that we did in high school. So for example, my high school, everybody had to read To Kill a Mockingbird. That was a pretty popular story. So her video goes into detail of why that is. Why do we read these stories? So there's 3 questions to answer after you watch the video. One of them being, what is it actually called? What are these required readings called? And she gives the term in the video, so you have to watch the video to understand. And then also she talks about, you need to watch the video all the way through. So question 2 pertains to the end of the video, and then question 3 is more of a your own opinion answer. And so far everybody has done a really nice job with the discussion posts. I've been very, very excited about your responses and your content. And I will try to post each week alongside you and offer my feedback as well for what I've read at that point. But everyone's doing great with the discussion forum so far, so keep up the good work. But so we have our textbook assignment. And we have our weekly discussion forum post. This last assignment is the new one. This is our first dive into our first writing assignment. So cause and effect. So you'll notice with each of our writing assignments that the guidelines are within the Dropbox for the writing assignment itself. These guidelines are not in resources. The video is, but the guidelines themselves are going to be with the Dropbox here, just because I want you to get in the Dropbox and see the assignment itself. So we're going to discuss what the writing assignment is, but the Dropbox assignment for this week is to tell me what your topic is for paper number 1, what the overall purpose of your paper is, and to include an outline. And I will give you all an example of that here momentarily. So if I click on these guidelines here, our first paper is over cause and effect. So I think this is a really simple topic. I think there's a lot of options with it. You'll notice that our reading assignment this week is to read chapter 7 in our book and chapter 10. And chapter 10 is all about cause and effect. So if you've never written a cause and effect paper before, or if you have no clue what that is, I would highly suggest doing a close reading of chapter 10, because this chapter will break down the terminology, it will explain what cause and effect is, and it will give you some examples. So if you're really lost and you're like, I don't know what to write about, this chapter 10 in our book will give you lots of ideas. So basically, the idea behind a cause and effect is that something is the cause of various effects. So for example, there right now is a hurricane off the coast of Florida that is about to make landfall. So my cause and effect paper could be what causes hurricanes and what are the effects of those hurricanes. So very straightforward, right? Anything that has causes and effects of that you can use. So why, you could say, for example, why do people try to get a bachelor's degree in college? What are the effects of getting a bachelor's degree? You could do something like that. I mean, your options are pretty vast in terms of what you could write about. But anyway, your paper itself has to do these 4 things. It has to have an introduction paragraph, which explains the main point, as well as your other point, your main idea, and your points of your paper. So very similar to textbook activity number 2 we're doing this week as well, if you've noticed. There needs to be body paragraphs that discuss and break down the points of your paper, and you do have to have a conclusion, at least one conclusion paragraph where you summarize the topic and add a sentence or two to resolve or add resolution to your paper, kind of like ending the story. That's what your conclusion will be. And then the assignment finally has to be at least 3 full double-spaced pages, but it could also be longer as well. So as far as your grade breaks down for this paper is worth 50 points. 10 points is going to be to your introduction and conclusion, so those are each worth 5 points each. Your content or body paragraphs are 20 points. You say on topic, is your information relevant? Is it informative? Is it a cause and effect, essentially? And then your grammar and spelling is 15 points, and then the page length and formatting is 5 points. So basically, if your paper is not 3 full pages, you will not get these 5 points. Just be aware of that. But 3 full pages, I think that if you pick a broad enough topic, you should be able to get that. I've rarely had students not make 3 pages with their topics. So, your writing prep for this week, you're going to tell me what your paper is about. You're going to tell me the points of that paper. And you're going to do that through this outline here. So this is a very, very, very basic outline. I always like outlines because they keep me on focus. They allow me to stay on track with my writing. My whole goal as an English instructor is to keep you from the 2 a.m. syndrome. And what I mean by that is that I don't want you at 2 a.m. the night before papers due, sitting there in front of your computer going, I don't know what I'm going to write about. I don't want that to happen. So the idea of this outline is to prevent that and to give you a framework, a structure, something to keep you on track and keep you focused. I like my outlines, though, very bare bones, skeletal, just the necessary parts. Because, one, you can alter these outlines. You can constantly change them, rework them, rewrite them, whatever you need to do. But also, these outlines should be a work in progress. They need to be something that evolves as you evolve with your paper. So, for example, I could put in this introduction, I could say, and I'm just going to make this very, very general because I'm thinking this up on the spot. I would like you yourself to elaborate on your outline just a little bit. You don't have to give me full paragraphs, but just give me a little bit of elaboration. Mine here is going to be very, very basic. So I could say, I could put in parentheses, personal testimony about friend rated the hurricane headed to Florida and fell into pieces that caused hurricanes and earthquakes. So, you could you could start your paper off with a story about, for example, my friend works in Florida and she's really worried about the hurricane that's coming. Or you could talk about, if you were planning on going vacation and a hurricane ruined your vacation plans because it destroyed the condo or what have you. But you need to put your basic topic here. Hurricanes, their causes and effects. Okay? And so then you're going to list your points that you want to talk about. So point 1 could be, I could say causes, and then I can have effect number 1, effect number 2, and then my subpoints. You can always have subpoints too, and then your conclusion. If your conclusion is not, I don't expect you to have a whole conclusion written for your outline. You can just say it's a work in progress, but if you want to add on the end, I'll end with tying back to my friend and my worries about the upcoming hurricane. I mean, you can add something like that that shows that you're thinking about how you want to bookend your paper, but just something like this that lets me know. Now, obviously, I would like for you to actually explain to me the causes and explain to me the effects. So instead of saying effect number 1, you could say damage to property, and you could say negative community feelings or something like that. I mean, you can organize this however you want or word it however you want. But I don't want you to just say cause 1 and cause 2. I want you to give me actual text definitions. Alright? So, but like I said, your outline is very bare bones. As long as you give me something in this that elaborates on what you're writing about, you'll get full credit for this assignment. Now, if you just do cause number 1 and cause number 2, or you just do something like this and you don't explain yourself, then I'm going to deduct points. So just be aware of that. And if you are torn between 2 topics and you can't decide what you want to do, make an outline for both. These outlines are pretty basic, so you should have time to create outlines for both of them and see which one you feel more comfortable with writing about. If you're still undecided, then definitely put both in the Dropbox assignment, and I'll give you feedback letting you know which one I think will work better. So, but that's pretty much this first writing assignment. Since it is our first writing assignment, I'm going to be pretty lenient. If I see things that are out of place and need to be changed, I will definitely let you all know. But I am excited to see what you all come up with for cause and effect. I think cause and effect is an interesting paper because there's so many options and so many directions you can go with it. You can do something serious, environmental, or something personal. Basically, as long as you can get 3 full pages out of it, you're going to be all right. Okay? But that is the assignment for this week. So that's basically it. I'm going to post this video in our resources, but just these 3 assignments for week 4. Make sure to read chapters 7 and chapter 10. And then, as always, if you have any questions at all, you're free to call me, you're free to email me. I am starting to go out into the high school these next couple of weeks, so I may not be physically in my office at all hours, but you can always email and call ahead to see if I have time to meet with you, or there's an hour that works for us to actually meet face-to-face. All right? As always, I look forward to reading your works, and I will talk to you all again in week 5. All right? See you guys.